Blue Lock Season 2 just ended on a banger, giving us 2 episodes that can only be described by one word: cinema. As episode 13 and 14 broke everything about the show, from the amazing pacing, the insane animation, and the overall amazing production, to being just one of the best adaptations to any sports anime. Seriously, these 2 episodes really hit me like a truck. They were so good and so worthy to be the finale of the best arc in Blue Lock, and they had me jumping with each passing second. Simply because, as I said, they were absolute cinema. They really managed to deliver one of the best productions that really felt so grand, that really felt worthy of the big screen. As you will see, at the end of episode 14, it really felt like a movie. It really took me back to the days of watching Infinity Wars and Endgame. It was that good of a finale. And so, let's talk about it. Let's review episode 13 and 14 from Blue Lock Season 2. And as you will see, we will be exploring why episode 14 deserves to be episode of the year. However, first we gotta talk about episode 13, which I gotta say, it too was explosive in its own right. As from the beginning it starts strong, and from the get-go you can feel something is different. The production feels so ahead of previous episodes it's not even funny. Rin and Isagi here look so good, especially with the more amazing aura, which by the way seems more fluid than before. And of course we can't forget the amazing voice acting, especially from Rin's character. In any case, the game resumes, and immediately Sai takes things to the next step. Instead of building the attack as usual, being calm and everything, he immediately charges at Isagi, who were taken by surprise and really did not know what to do. Isagi is already weak one-on-one, and straight up facing the best player on the field really took him by surprise. However, what took me by surprise is the level of animation. It's not just that Sai was moving or running, but this whole 360 they did with him really helped in selling how big of a deal this is, as we see Sai's true aura for the first time, and he challenges everyone. The only ones who can keep up with him are the ones to get to witness the next level. And immediately he makes quick work with Isagi, who is still shocked by the way. However, just look at this. Just look at how amazing the animation is. It's really beautiful. And by the way, this is the first time we see Sai dribble this good. As you remember before, they completely ruined his dribbles. However, now they look so good. As immediately after taking Isagi on a ride, he took Karasu and Barou as well. And again, the animation delivered beautifully. Not just for these 2 moments, but actually for the whole attack, for the whole sequence until Shiro punted Rin in the skull. And I gotta say, this really showed me how much I was fiending for good animation, as just seeing them move like this really made me so happy, man. And honestly sad at the same time. Why couldn't we get this level before? However, enough about the animation for now. Let's talk about Ren, who is completely desperate in stopping Sai. As in his mind, he thinks that he is the only one who can do it, because he is his brother and because the same blood flows in their veins. And so you can already tell, Rin is shouldering the whole team on his back, and so it feels so personal to him. This is something that will become really important later on. However, for now, let's carry on with the episode. Sai destroying the Blue Lockers looked as amazing as ever, and still he is the best passer, as his pass was perfect for Shiro. He delivered such a deadly pass to him that nothing Ryo copies could save them here, and so Rin's intervention was much needed. And again, as I said, he is shouldering the whole team on his back. And also, by the way, this is a testament to Shiro's agility and his reflexes. He was able to react to Sai, even though the latter was on a whole different level. Also, I gotta explain something here. You see Bachira at his current state, and Yukimiya have what we call an active dribbling ability, where they utilize dribbling techniques to surpass their opponents. However, Sai is different. Sai's techniques are all reactive, which means he takes your best move and counters it, making him more of a formidable dribbler than Yuki and Bachira, which is something that Rin explained here. However, carry on. As everyone was shocked by Sai, there were actually 2 players who stayed vigilant in addition to, of course, Rin and Shiro, and those are actually Ryo and Isagi. First Isagi, which is the most important one, he is actually adapting to both Rin and Sai, and as you all know, this is very important because this adaptability is what will allow him to score at the end. Then the second guy is Ryo, who is only fixated on Nagi, as soon as he got the ball he forwarded to Seishiro, and this proved to be really deadly, because the U20 team was taken by surprise. Or, I should say, almost everyone was taken by surprise. Sendo was the only one who reacted. Which is weird to say, but it is what happened. In any case, the whole sequence of Nagi and Isagi building the attack, I don't know, it was the lowest point of the 2 episodes, however, it was not that bad. It still had animation and overall it looked okay, I guess. However, what looked amazing is Bachira's dribbling, as he takes the U20 defenders on a ride. All 4 of them stood like they were nothing. As you will see later, Rin will do this as well. However, Rin is calculating and destroying them specifically, while Bachira here is just exerting dribbling moves and the defenders are helpless against him, which really proves that when it comes to dribbling potential, no one can beat Bachira. In any case, his sequence was also well animated, and I love the monster aura that they gave him. And if you think about it, it is even better than Season 1, which had a 3D aura. And as I said at the beginning of this episode, you can immediately tell this is a different level of production simply due to the aura. It is so much better than what we used to. In any case, Sendu saves the day and saves the U20 from an early defeat. However, then they give us this hentai scene, like he said an idol, right, or a model. This is not a model or an idol, this is a hentai character. I mean, what the hell is even going on? However, don't blame the anime for this because this was the same shit in the manga. So let's just move on from all of this. The next sequence really proves why Karasu is the genius of BLUELOCK, because he immediately understood what you need to do against Sai. You just need not to rush him, because if you rush him, he will beautifully destroy you. Still, the BLUELOCKers would lose to Sai at this level, but at least after he realized this, him and Yukimiya stood their grounds and bought few seconds for the defenders, which honestly were crucial, as we've seen Ryo, Nagi, Barou, Isagi and Rin all needed time to react to the attack and stop it. And hey, we got to see Aiko as a striker, which they actually gave us this insane level of animation for his shot that if I didn't watch the manga I would have thought this was a goal again. First Bachira and now this. However, again Rin stops his brother and stops Aiko here. This time though, the ball goes into a corner and Sai is the one to be delivering it. Now here's where things get interesting. We get this exclusive scene of the announcers saying that the U20 team has never played a game of this level and they are doing their best. This is the absolute best of the U20 team, which is something that Ego actually wanted by creating the hottest place in Japan for football. Going back to the field, however, we see Rin engulfed in his own thoughts. He is thinking that if he is the one to stop Sai, he has no chance of scoring, as the other BLUELOCKers would lead the counter-attack and potentially score the winning goal, especially because Bachira almost did just that. However, if he doesn't stop Sai, he is thinking that no one could, and so again he is shouldering everything on his back and he is feeling as the true leader of this team. There he notices that Aiko is moving suspiciously, and so he marks him, thinking that the most beautiful way for Sai to destroy the BLUELOCKers is through Aiko. And there, Sai takes him on a ride. Having understood his motives, he delivered a pass that seems to be going to Aiko, however it was barely outside of Rin's reach. Just like how he did Chigiri dirty before, he did his brother right now. And there it is, it was a pass to Shido, and the latter is preparing to score. And there, in that moment, Rin feels despair and accepts defeat. At the end, he cannot defeat his brother. All of those times he told himself he could were for nothing, and so he simply accepts defeat. However then, as the OST explodes, we see Isagi comes out of nowhere and stops Shido. You see, he coordinated not just with Sai, he actually did with Aiko, Rin, Shido and Sai. He did with all of them, so he can tell what is the most dangerous position and cover it. And by the way here, Isagi used an insane weapon, which will be explored in Season 3. As for now, just know this, Isagi right here did an impossible save, and Rin is impressed. Rin is finally seeing that he doesn't need to shoulder everything on him. The BLUELOCKers have got his back, and it feels really amazing and comforting for him. I can't. This is where BLUELOCK proves that it is different than any other shonen anime. This is where BLUELOCK proves why it is the best sports anime. Because instead of feeling comfort, Rin is actually feeling as if he is getting devoured. He is reaching the point of irrelevancy, and he can't have that. And so the BLUELOCKers intervening with his matchup against Sai only made him feel awful. And there he breaks. He enters the flow state and enters what we call the destroyer mode, or the berserker state. And the episode ends on this scene of Rin being broken. Honestly, episode 13 did its job perfectly. There is preparing us for the grand finale. Now I gotta talk about the production of this scene of Rin breaking, and honestly I expected it to be different. However, man, the studio really surprised me with this. It looked amazing. The OST was on fire, man. Seriously, this was so good. It was so amazing. And the spirally R's looked amazing as well. Everything was to perfection. And of course, I gotta hand it to the voice actor again. For him to convey anger, for him to convey frustration, but at the same time convey Rin's calm tone, really shows that this voice actor is the real deal. However, that's all for episode 13, and let's jump straight up to episode 14, which picks up from the same scene. And we have Rin, who is completely unhinged as he goes on a rampage, stealing the ball from his teammates, targeting each defender one after another, and destroying each defender one after another. Now they actually did these amazing sequences of Rin targeting the defenders as if he is a vampire fiending for some blood, and man, it was really amazing to see, especially with the destruction effect that they added to the defenders, which were completely wrecked. In total opposition of Sai's dribbling, Rin takes the best out of you, however he completely destroys it. Unlike Sai who counters your plays, Rin actually destroys your plays. And so this hit the defenders really hard, especially Neo, who used his physique against Rin, which was his biggest mistake. And there, Aiko activates his amazing vision, as he tries to stop Rin. It is flow state versus flow state. And when I tell you guys, even though I've read the manga, I was jumping in my seat, wanting to see how they would handle the 0% scene. And man, they delivered, with saying that Rin is actually unreadable, and every option Aiko sees is at 0%, which means he has no chance of beating Rin, and destruction is coming his way, as we see out of nowhere Shido's hand grabs Rin. It is now 2-on-1. The giant wall Aiko and the demon Shido versus the destroyer Rin. However, Isagi is there too, but as you all know, Aiko knows that the blue lockers won't pass, and so he focuses on Rin and actually succeeds in stopping him. Of course, this was with the help of Shido, who completely blocked one way for Rin to go. After Rin misses, the ball goes beautifully to Sai. Now it is pretty obvious that the ball did not just miraculously fall into Sai's feet, but rather Sai with his perfect positioning was there to meet it. And as soon as he got the ball, we see the art style changes, and we see Shido sprinting down the field. He is fiending for that last goal. And I gotta say, it was so well animated that I started jumping in my seat like, come on, come on, come on. This is what a sports anime should do. It should pump you up endlessly. And as I said before, this episode really excelled at that. Of course, because he was the only one who reacted to Rin, Isagi found himself the closest to Sai, and so he tried to stop him. However, I mean, what can he even do, right? And so Sai swiftly gets rid of him. There, Barou rushes him to surprise him and take the ball. However, as you all know, Sai already saw that coming, and so he destroyed him as well. Nagi came after him to do the same thing, however he got wrecked as well. And there Karasu shouts, and man, this is so beautiful. Karasu shouts at them that what they need to do is not to rush, because if they do, Sai will destroy them and it is the end for the blue lockers. And so what he does, he holds Sai for a few seconds. Enough time for actually Rin to get into the scene. And there, Isagi senses it. There, Isagi senses the distortion between Sai and Rin. And there he places the wager. There he believes that Rin is actually going to be the one to stop Sai. As you will see, both Barou and Nagi went back to defense. However, Isagi was the only one who trusted that Rin will destroy Sai. However, forget about Isagi for a moment, forget about everything. We see Sai versus Rin, and I kid you not guys, I was not expecting this. As I said, they changed the art style for this more simplistic one that is actually better for the animation. And this honestly reminds me of Mappa. They used to employ this style a lot, and so as soon as I saw it, I immediately knew I was for the experience of my life, the most hyped moment of this year. It is Rin versus Sai. However, the studio did something even more amazing. Instead of picking up the pacing, they actually killed it off completely. You know how the episode was fastly moving ever since its beginning? It all of a sudden came to a halt as we see snow starting to drop on the field. It is of course metaphorical snow because Rin is thinking of the past. We see Sai taunting Rin, however the latter is not having any of it, because he is focusing on one thing: destroy everyone. Beginning of course of himself, which is something that will play a huge role in season 4. However, for now we see that Rin finally understood what Sai said about him not using Sai as an excuse to play football, because that mentality is for the weakling. What Rin needs to do is to trust in no one but himself, as we see all of his demons, all of his thoughts that are connected to other players try and stop him. However, in a moment of rage, he destroys all of his inner demons, as Rin screams, "I am the egoist Rin Itoshi." And we get a moment of silence. A moment that is only broken up by the crowd in the background yelling, "Japan, Japan." No music, nothing. Just the crowd yelling, and there it was, Sai versus Rin. I literally have no words to describe this. This shit was so good that I rewatched it more than 20 times by now. It was so insane, it was so hype, it was so great that I can't really do it justice no matter how I describe it. And the cherry on top was the change of atmosphere. You see, what the studio did was brilliant. They actually lowered the aspect ratio, which made it feel as if we were watching a movie. It really made it feel bigger and even more grand. And then there is the atmosphere, which feels windy, which feels eerie, as if a storm is raging on the field. And in fact, that was the case. A storm was raging on the field, as we see Rin vs Sai raging on like no other rivalry. Man, this sequence was so beautiful that it actually made me forget about the whole season. I do not care if BLUELOCK Season 2 was a shitty season, because honestly this finale is everything that I needed. This shit right here is everything that I wanted. And there it is. Through his tenacity, Rin corners Sai and the latter does his favorite move. There, because he is his brother and because he understands him the best, Rin meets Sai and completely destroys him, as we see the ball flies towards the penalty box. There, Aiko tries to stop it, however it was just barely beyond his reach. And as he was falling down, he hears footsteps, and he hears his friend Neo shouts. He turns to see the number 11. He turns to see Isagi Yoichi, shoots the decisive shot, and scores an insane goal with his direct shot. Man, this was absolute cinema. It really makes me wish this whole arc, this whole fight of the U20 game gets reanimated and remade into a movie with this level. I understand it is a lot to ask for, but if they really want to make a lot of money, this is the way. In any case, that's neither here nor there. For now, let's enjoy what can only be said to be the best ending ever, like everything about it worked. The silence, the eerie atmosphere, the war raging between Rin and Sai, and then for only Isagi to meet them there, for only Isagi to be the guy to pull out the best out of luck and to score. And also it comes full circle, because Rin defeated Isagi before throw luck. Isagi now repaid the debts, and he beat Rin and Sai through luck as well. And there it is, Isagi changes the face of Japan as he screams on the top of his lungs. Now, I want to talk about two things actually. First is Henri here crying. As you all know, even Ego celebrated. However, Henri was crying, and they're not just tears of joy. You see, for those who read Isagi's novel, you would know that Henri specifically did not want to include Isagi in the BLUELOCK project. And it was Ego's idea. It was Ego who ordered her to include him because he saw something in him. And there his vision was right. And so Henri broke into tears, and it was so beautiful. The second thing is actually what Sai said to Rin. You see, at that moment, we felt as if Sai was needlessly cruel to his brother. However, hindsight is a bitch, because something that was explored much later on, something that will be explored at the end of season 4, explains fully what Sai meant here. However, I will not be saying anything more than that, simply because I will be spoiling a lot for you guys. As for now, let's actually move to the post-credits. So for those who don't know, Kunigami actually went a secret training called the Wild Card, which is dedicated for those who lost. However, only one player can succeed, and as you saw, it was Kunigami. And man, if I did not read the manga, this shit would have been the most shocking thing ever, as I've seen a lot of reactions and everyone was jumping in their seats due to just how insane this is. Kunigami is back, baby, and he is as strong as ever. The second thing is actually the player we got to see at the end. Now, I obviously can't spoil who he is, but as you all know, the Neo Egoist League is coming, which is actually a league between the best clubs in the world, including BLUELOCK. And so obviously this is the star of one of those teams. However, that's all I could really tell you guys about him, because anything else I would be spoiling. In any case, that was the episode of the year for me. Man, I kid you not. I really have no words to describe it except by calling it absolute cinema. This shit really had some nuts in it. However, that's all I've got for you today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed the video as much as I enjoyed the episodes. And until next time, thank you for watching.